Greetings everybody, Pup here with my weekend review. Just to get this out of the way, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. All these charts and ideas that I'm presenting today are my opinions alone, and are merely for educational purposes. So let's go over some charts for this week. So just taking a look at AMD, anchoring to our swing low. We have a falling wedge with a breakout retest on Thursday, Friday. Watching for an entry over 108.27. RSI starting to break out. Slingshot squeeze is in effect. Next up is apps. Apps already broke out of its falling wedge. Broke the year-to-date anchored VWAP here. Had a little bit of a fail and then right back up, and we went 4 days green, right to $80. So I would watch for an entry over 80, but if we continue to tick up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would just be careful, wait for possible retest and then breakout. I would not be chasing up here, just wait for a pullback on apps, but it does look strong. Should continue higher, possibly test 100 this year. Next up is Boeing. Not my personal favorite stock to trade, but can't deny the setup. So possible triple combo here. What I'm going to be watching for is a break over. I'm going to probably change this here. So let me change this on the fly. Going to look for an entry right over 230. I'm about to say 230. Maybe about 231 and change. We have that year-to-date anchored VWAP right there. So I just want to make sure we get a close over that year-to-date anchored VWAP. It looks like it's flattening out. RSI is starting to break out here. The only problem is we've had a squeeze already fired off. Now, that's not to say we can't continue to tick higher here, but we did have an inverted hammer and a spinning top right at the resistance line. So watch for potential weakness, maybe come back and touch one of the clouds before maybe coming back up and testing 231. But if we do break 231, we can catch a quick move up to 240. That is Boeing. Next up is Bank of America. Banks report next week. I don't remember exactly what day Bank of America reports, but I believe Goldman Sachs is Thursday morning, or maybe it's Friday morning. Apologies for not having that ready. But if you did get my newsletter, the Benzinga chart is on that newsletter. So the Benzinga earnings dates. So please double check that, especially for earnings on financials. They do kick off this week. Oh, so I didn't even talk about Bank of America. Apologies. So anyway, we did break out at a 43.44. And looks like we might be on our way up to 45.75. Bank of America is a slower mover, so just keep that in mind. Next up is CyberArk. So possible inverted head and shoulders here, right? You have your left shoulder, head, right shoulder, stunted right shoulder. So watch for a break over 170.34. Next up is Fix. Fix, we did break this channel here. So I adjusted. So you see we already broke that and made a quick move right up to this next trend line. Over this, I would say over 80, we can see 85 and then possibly test these highs here at 87. Next up is JP Morgan. I forgot I also could turn on the earnings data right here. So it looks like JP Morgan is on the 13th for earnings. So looks bullish, but of course, earnings can make or break a stock when it comes to breakouts or breakdowns. So just going to be watching for day trades possibly on JP Morgan. We do have a 1618. At 172.27, just above. That would be my next target. Next up is Open. I'll leave that earnings on. Open is tested and broke out of its rising channel here. So I would watch for a move over 22.25 And my next target would be 23.51, 26.51, and then 29.52 at the 618 retracement level. Next up is Overstock. Not saying it's necessarily ready to go this week, but if we anchor back to the top of the wedge, you'll see we're right at the crest of our volume shelf. Now, we have earnings coming up in 2 weeks on the 28th, and I'm looking at this chart and saying, you know, we might have a little bit of an earnings run, and that earnings run possibly can bring us to the top of the wedge at $87. So watch for a move on Overstock over the next week. I would just say over this next week. We might get a break above 78 and test 83, $84. All right, next up is Roku. Roku had a falling channel breakout retest. It looked pretty strong going into the end of the week. So I would watch for a move over 329. A move over 329, and I would be targeting the supply zone up above, right at the 382, right at the year-to-date to 369. But I do think 350 can come if we break 329. That would be testing the top of our falling cloud here at that 55 EMA. We also have a slingshot TTM squeeze setting up, and we're just under 50 on RSI. So watch for Roku to make a move early next week. All right, next up is SE. So SE is looking pretty good in its falling wedge, really just waiting for a breakout. I think we can look for a potential entry. Let's see. I would say a potential entry over right over 332. I think if we get a daily close over 332, then we could start to test 345, 350, and then 359. Next up is Sofi. So watching this false breakdown here on Sofi, I could extend out the trend line. So we're holding within the bottom of the wedge. I think the risk to reward here isn't too bad, but I'd rather see an entry over 1778, targeting 1925, 2060, and 2250 on the upside. RSI is also in a rising channel. TTM squeeze did fire, but you can see the squeeze has dissipated as this move has come down. And if we look at it actually a little closer, you can see that we're forming a symmetrical wedge here. So, you know, just keep an eye on Sofi early this week. See if it starts to make a move up to that 1778 level. So here's UPST. Also looking pretty good, pretty strong. We finally got some consolidation on this big move up. You know, a lot of times when I see big moves like this, you usually see a little bit longer consolidation. So I wouldn't be surprised if UPST did continue to consolidate, but I also wouldn't be surprised, knowing the personality of the stock, that if it does break 323.59, we can test all-time highs here at 346. Over 346, I think, you know, the journey continues, and I think this could easily hit 400 within the next month if it starts to break out here. Next up is Visa. So Visa starting to also break out over its trend line here. So we had a breakout on Thursday, an inverted hammer right at my 233.46 level. So easy, just wait for the 336.46 to break at a daily close over that level. You'll be over the volume shelf. And we did have a 1-dot squeeze fire on the daily, and we got a close over 50 on RSI. So watch for Visa to make a move this week. And last but not least is XOM, which is Exxon Mobil. Again, looking at energy stocks, we had this TTM squeeze fire. We still are pushing higher. We might be towards the end of the move, but just watch for any closes over 62.46. We can target 64.96 to the upside. So that's my weekend review. If you're watching this and you did not receive my newsletter, please make sure to go to my Twitter account. It's twitter.com/the Pup of Wall Street and sign up right for my newsletter there. It goes out every Sunday at 6 p.m. And just going to go over, I always go over top sector, top stocks, any earnings data that's coming out. I'll do some options data as well. And I'll also have indice stocks or, indice charts listed too. So that's my weekend review. Please make sure if you're seeing this on Twitter or Instagram or any socials, make sure to like and share this. It really helps with the algorithms. Doing this for free, so please, if you can, reciprocate and give me a shout. That would be amazing. Let me know what you think of these videos. Let me know if there's anything you don't like. And if there are things that you do like, let me know what that is, and I'll double down on it. So have a great rest of your evening, and good luck in the markets tomorrow.